snacks.
Hey, what it do, Loading Snacks Universe? Your boy Jokes here. I got the homie Sin.
Yes, sir.
Got a special guest. Got Gina in the building.
Hello.
Welcome
Uh,
back, G.
Sadly, as you guys may notice, Gage is missing. Because we're talking DC stuff today, apparently they would not allow him to be on the stream with us, so he got yanked away. But no worries.
They said no more Batman talk.
No more
So,
Batman talk. So they immediately had to yank him off, and they was like, absolutely not. So sadly, no Gage with us today. But as in show business, the show must go on still.
Yes.
So,
Yes, it is.
and talking about DC, DC just had big thing go down. DC Fandome.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and
yes. Yes, Marcus.
boy,
Bruce Wayne shut down his internet.
oh, completely.
Sent a bug to his computer, the whole 9 yards. Yes, he.
The dude, you saw the dude from the trailer. Like, I actually, I don't want to get into that yet. I'll say that little thing for a little bit later on. But so DC had their big convention type online presence, DC Fandome. Tons and tons and tons of good information that we actually got out of the fandom. Now, before we
A
get
lot of good information.
before we get too deep into each individual thing, so let's kind of do a little overall impression. So, Sin, I know you had the opportunity to kind of go through, watch a lot of the stuff that actually happened and everything for it. Overall impressions, what did you think of DC Fandome?
DC fan, I thought it was really, really good. Like everybody's going virtual now because of COVID with these conventions and cons, and people been there's been some struggles, here and there to get it right. Some people have done okay, some people have done well, some people not so much. I think DC hit it out the park with this. I think, of course, there was some, highs and lows throughout it. Some panels probably went on longer than they should have, stuff like that. But overall, between the information, the presentation, and just everything, the total package, I thought it was honestly a slam dunk for them.
Slam dunk. Dig it.
Mm-hmm.
Gina, I know you probably didn't get to watch the whole entire thing, but I know you did watch at least some trailers and some things. So, at least from what you saw, what's your impression of what you actually saw?
I'm a very casual fan, like very casual fan. But for the first time since DC's been putting out these movies, I've actually been interested in going to see them. I've been admittedly disengaged, like not interested in any Superman movie that's come out ever. Superman's such a boring character to me.
Don't worry.
I did like Wonder Woman. Some of the later Batman movies, they're classics. And I'm just interested to see. I wish we could go to theaters, but if not, if they do the at-home premieres, I'd actually spend my $20 to see them. I can say, from a casual fan's perspective, that looks pretty good.
Dig it.
I like it.
Dig it.
I dig it. What about you, John?
I'm right on board with you saying. Like, I thought DC needed this. They needed it to go well. And I thought everything that they did was actually pretty solid. Just like you said, maybe some panels went on a little bit longer than what they actually needed to be. But otherwise, solid information, good presentation overall. Definitely with the changing landscape, doing everything digital, everybody's making it work. I think DC made it work with this. I do know they're going to do a second part to Fandome, from my understanding, sometime in September. So we'll probably see some other new information that we'll get. But so with all of our impressions so far, let's go through and let's start running down some of the things that went down. So let's start first with one of the things that really kind of kicked it off. Let's start Wonder Woman 84. Now, we've been talking about Wonder Woman on the show quite frequently, and I know we've been a little iffy on what it is that we're really truly getting from Wonder Woman 84.
I still have my issues with it so far.
So far.
Yeah.
I'm still not 100% sold myself. Like, certain elements of the movie look great. They look fantabulous. I'm going to use that word out there. But there's just certain things that still occur that we see in the Wonder Woman swinging from lightnings. I get it. She's a god, but why is this happening?
No, I don't get that. No, I don't get that, and I refuse to get that. I'm sorry. I don't know where they pulled that out of their ass from, but I'm not on board with that. But I'm trying to hold judgment till I see the movie and see how it's worked into the story. Because let's be honest,
Mm-hmm.
when the Justice League animated series first came out,
Mm-hmm.
and she started flying, even then, like, hold up, she's not supposed to be flying. You know what I mean? But eventually got past it, and then the comics made it an actual thing. So
They do.
yeah, so we'll see.
All right. Jay Robert was like, Wonder Woman's the only one that interests them actually out of everything that they're released. Wow. I'm still.
That was the only one. Okay, Jay Robert.
Oh,
Okay.
and I guess we lost Gina for a quick second. All right.
Okay.
So we're just gonna look weird on screen for a little bit until until her feed kicks in, but we can still sound good.
All right.
Yeah. So.
All right. So the trailer that came out, jokes.
Mhm.
How did you feel about this new trailer they released?
I'm still okay. Like, I'm okay with it. Like, it's just some of those small issues that have been. Yeah, Batman did strike again, Marcus. I don't know what it is. We're talking full DC right now, so the whole Justice League's going to end up coming after us. Probably the Suicide Squad. I don't know. They're going to come for us. But I'm still okay with it. Like, I have thoughts about the Steve Trevor thing. I'm not going to go into that as much. I think we've had a conversation about the whole Steve Trevor thing, and I think we may be on the same page with that. But without being too comic spoilerish, I won't go into that. I do think Cheetah, I will honestly say, Kristen Wiig is probably the biggest thing I'm actually looking forward to in this movie. Just because this is kind of out of her element. This is different for her. You normally see her more in like comedic roles than anything else. So I'm real interested to see how she's going to come to play as Cheetah in this movie. But I'm okay. I'm okay with Wonder Woman. I just like you, I need to see it. Because like right now, I'm still not 100% sold on it. All right, so
Like, the trailer, like, I enjoyed the trailer.
mhm.
You know, so for what it is, like, okay, cool, like, but it didn't make me like, oh my gosh, wow, jump out of my seat. I was happy to see Cheetah.
Mhm.
Like, the whole time trailer's going like, come on, give us what we want to see. We want to see Cheetah. Come on, you're showing Kristen Wiig. She's getting madder as the trailer goes along and wanting to fight back and everything. And then, you know, at the end we see Cheetah. So we finally got to see that. I was happy to see that. Even though I know I'm going to see it regardless when it comes out, like, it's still not making me jump for joy, like, you know, all excited for it. Like, it's still not that for me.
I dig it. All right.
Yes.
I think that's enough for Wonder Woman because we can go on for Wonder Woman for a while. Now, I'm just gonna throw this out there. We're not gonna talk about this really on today's show. We're gonna talk about those cutscenes, but we definitely have some video games that popped out of DC Fandome. Ones that we've kind of had hints for. So, Suicide Squad, Killer Justice League, and of course Gotham Knights.
Right.
So,
right.
Just a small tidbit. The trailer for Justice League, for Suicide Squad, it looked good. It was just a trailer. That's all we got was a CG trailer, whatever. Knights, I'm very interested in. But we will go into extra detail on that on cutscenes. So make sure you guys tune in.
I'll save my thoughts on those for cutscenes.
So tune in to cutscenes so we can go into a deep dive on that. All right, we'll talk about this. If Gina's connection doesn't kick back in the next week, I'm probably gonna we're gonna pause for a minute. I'm gonna fix some stuff and we're gonna come back. But let's talk about the Flash. So I know for you and me, Sin, the Flash, at least from Arrowverse, has a good place in our hearts.
Yes, it does.
The Flash in the DC movie universe, not so much as of right now. But we have gotten some.
We only have one movie to go off of with him, so
that hasn't even come out yet.
And it was his movie. You know, I'm saying, like, Justice League. That's what we know him from, and you know, he was sharing the screen with a bunch of other heroes. Yeah, so we haven't got a real look at Ezra Miller's interpretation of it.
I dig it. But we got a little bit of information from it, so we didn't really get like a trailer or anything like that for the Flash. Just way too early before that. But some interesting tidbits. So one, we got a couple of drawings, markups of what his new outfit is potentially going to look like. In doing so, look kind of cool. You can see Speed Force looks like it's flowing throughout the suit. It looks like. But the real interesting part about it is where the suit is actually coming from. So, this apparently suit is going to be made by Bruce Wayne. Now, my only thought on that, I don't know if this hit you the same way as it hit me. When I heard that Bruce was making the suit for Barry, my first thought that popped into my head was Spider-Man and Iron Man. Like, I literally had that same exact correlation between the two.
So you think that's what their relationship is going to be like?
Maybe. Like, I don't want to fully go on to say that Bruce is going to be that full-out mentor to him, but I know Barry, at least in the DC movie universe, is probably needs a little bit more, I guess, polishing would be the way to say it. Clearly, he's intelligent, he's smart. He built his own suit, which can, of course, take ridiculous speeds, take an impact and all that, but you can tell he used like parts from everywhere to kind of make this suit up. So I do think it's kind of cool that Bruce is going to step in and give him a whole suit, but now it makes me wonder how much of that Wayne tech is going to actually be inside of the Flash's suit. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Like, is he going to like be able to, bring up satellite images or like stuff like that, what I'm saying, like Batman type of stuff he would have in his suit? Or is it just going to be a new flashy like costume piece
kind of thing? Right, because I don't want to see my man, this is all I know for Flash, we know my man can throw lightning. I better not see like some lightning bolt shaped batarang come from somewhere and he throws that. I know he loved the batarang when Bruce threw it at him at his little layer or whatever you want to call it, but if I see this dude pop out a lightning shaped batarang, I think I'll lose it.
What if they bring it up as a joke, as like a nod to it? Like, ooh, do I get like lightning bolt, like a lightning bolt batarang? He'd be like, why would you need that, or something like that?
I think I could dig that. I think I can dig that.
Wasn't there a poster that you showed me too, a Flash poster with Batman in the background, but then you noticed that it wasn't Ben Affleck's Batman?
Yes. So, in one of the other markups that they had is just artwork for it. There's one with the Flash and Batman together. But if you actually zoom in closer on the Batman that's standing behind him, it is most certainly Michael Keaton's 89 Batman. It most certainly is. Because the first thing
is... picture available right now.
I know, I can put it up. Well, right, everything's a little bit of a mess right now. I'm about to fix that. But when you zoom in close, the biggest thing you notice is the emblem on the chest. And it's the old school yellow background Batman logo on the chest. So it still got me wondering here, like, are they going to, like, what version of Michael Keaton Bruce Wayne are they going to pull? Like, are they going to try to, like, bring out, like, we noticed a multiverse, and of course Flash may hit us with Flashpoint Paradox. It may happen, who knows?
Which is something that they did reiterate during the Flash segment of DC Fandome, whatever, that the multiverse is a thing to explain. I guess the way to kind of explain, like, why this movie may take place in a different universe than this one, and so forth and so forth. They said that the multiverse is a thing going forward. So hopefully they do it correctly. Multiverse, I would say. Hopefully they tie it all correctly and kind of clean up the mess that is the DCU right now. That's what I'm hoping. But continue.
Yeah, like, cause it's all over the place. But if they go the route of using like Flashpoint, bringing in like a younger Michael Keaton, or like say that Batman in his prime, like that would be a really interesting take to actually see. Or if he's gonna be like the older Bruce, we just don't know where he's gonna pull from. Like, I'm prepared for Michael Keaton to be like the older Bruce Wayne in the '89 suit, getting ready to hang up this cape, but somehow, like, he's in the past though. I don't know how to explain it, but leading into Batman Beyond or something I want this to happen so bad.
That's what a lot of people want. They want to Michael Keaton play the old Bruce Wayne to introduce Terry McGinnis in a Batman Beyond type of thing. That's what people would love to see.
And I wouldn't be upset. Like, of course, it seems Barry Allen has to be the catalyst. Anything involving time, Barry just has to be the catalyst. I mean, I would say fixing, but every time he does it, it messes something else up. So, but he seems like he will be the actual catalyst for that piece. I don't know. But before we go on and talk about the next one, which I know you... Oh.
No. Clean up what you got to clean up right now.
We're going to do that.
And to the people in the chat right there, real quick question while he's cleaning that up. How did y'all feel about DC Fandome as a whole? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Did you think there was things that they could have done better? Me and Jokes both agree that we thought it was, we thought it was a hit out of the park. We thought they did their thing.
Oh, this is
per mine, it said Batman Beyond TV series on HBO Max would be fire. Okay.
Hey, we just gonna do this. Normally, I would make this look all nice and fancy-like, but since we're in the middle,
it was awesome. Okay.
I'm just gonna do this. Hey, look at that. And then
I can say I really enjoyed it. J. Robert Dean said worst idea DC ever had was just having Barry reboot everything all the damn time. It literally is no story has consequences anymore. I can understand that. And I think it's something going forward that they need to look at. But for real, how would you say the DCU right now? Like it's in such shambles that the only way to fix it, I feel like,
is to have Barry just mess something up and fix it.
Is to have them do something with Barry just to at least fix everything, and then after that, let's leave all that kind of stuff off the table. You know what I mean? Are we good, Jumps?
Yeah, we're good. We look better. It's not a little makeshift thing. So me and you are both here, so we look good. We can actually see everybody. I know I'm not the best looking guy or anything on the face of the planet, but hey, you can see us a lot better. Sin ain't that bad, good looking as well either, so don't even worry about it. A little bit worse off than me. All right, so we'll move on from the Flash. Like, I think we got a little bit of information for it. Not as much as we probably would have liked to have gotten from it, but some small tidbits. Suicide Squad 2. Now, Suicide Squad looks very interesting. Now, first thing I'm gonna say is, I think they've surpassed at the point being called a squad. Like, this is like a gang now, like a whole full-on gang that's going on. Now, I think you got the list pulled up there, Sam?
Yes, I absolutely do. Look, let's run down the list of all the Suicide Squad members that are in this. So, of course, we know Amanda Waller, right? It's the one that runs it. Viola Davis is back for that. Cool. But we also have Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Rick Flag, Bloodsport. We have Peacemaker, Weasel, King Shark, Savant, TDK, Blackguard, The Thinker, Soul Sawyer, Ratcatcher 2, Polka Dot Man, Mongo, Javelin, and that seems to be it.
All right.
That was a whole team.
Squad.
I almost felt like they could have split up like the X-Men, like Rainbow, like Blue and Gold team. Like, it's just that many Suicide Squad members they are packing into this movie.
I agree. And you know what? I'm going to tell you the exact reason why it's like that. At least half them Bammers is going to die in this movie.
75% of them are gone by the end of the movie. It's not going to be half.
Oh, man. Because half of them, like, honest truth is, if you haven't read into the comics a lot, half the characters that he named, you're probably not even familiar with at all. So,
Weasel, that looks like a Weasel, Polka Dot Man. So, like, some of these dudes are just going to die, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be entertaining.
I very much agree with that. One thing we did learn, especially James Gunn, they did put it out there that this movie is going to be violent, and I like the sound of that. I know they said like
Oh yeah.
limbs being blown off, the whole nine for it. I know the setup of where it's supposed
What
to
part
be
one
at.
should have been?
You said,
What part one should have been as far as like blood,
and it
violence,
kind of
which should have been in the first one, right? It seems to go more in that direction with the second one. So thank you for that. I'm gonna say.
yeah, it's
But
kind
you
of
were,
yeah. They're kind of like they were kind of riding and kind of keep it PG or whatnot ever, and even though it was rated R or whatnot ever, but they didn't want to overtone it. Like it was riding the coattails like Deadpool and all those that had Logan and all that came out rated R. So I guess they were still trying to figure out where they wanted to be at. But now with James Gunn on the helm, they're gonna go push for it. I know a little bit more detail. Tell me a little bit more about like time frame, how it's the way it's supposed to be designed to be set up for it.
it's weird, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around. It's supposed to be like this 1970s war motif vibe type of thing that they're going for in this one. So I'm not sure how that's going to play into as it being a sequel. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I trust, James Gunn. You
Definitely.
know what I'm saying? I've seen enough of his superhero movies to know I trust the man behind it, behind the camera and the direction and the vision. So a little weird, but okay. I'm pretty sure I'll come together when we see it. It's just that part kind of just throws
Do
me
a
for a
little bit.
loop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you agree?
I agree. Like I get they
Okay.
said it's going to be like that type of movies. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be like in that time period, but at this point where the universes like within the DC universes like it's just everything's all over the place. Like it's
Yeah.
there's no balance. So we have multiverses and all that. We'll get into that with a couple of the other movies when we talk about them. So we know
Yeah,
that.
the film will be working with an aesthetic of a
Mhm.
1970s war movie.
So it's probably
So
still going to be in this time period, but it's just going to be like a little old school, I guess. I guess the way talking like blowing off limbs and all that type of stuff. So I guess very Saving Private
yeah,
Ryan. Is that
something
how I
like
should I
that.
say it for it? So definitely though, I feel pretty good about Suicide Squad. So I'm looking forward to it. Um, I
I
just
do.
James Gunn, I
I
think
mean,
will come with some fire. Um,
I think so.
so
I
I'm
think so. I
waiting for
mean,
that.
it can't be worse than the first one.
I mean,
Okay.
you can only go but up, but sadly, sometimes you.
No, 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 no. You can go. You can take a step back.
I was gonna say you could definitely go the wrong way.
But I don't think that's gonna happen with this one. I don't think
I
so.
give Gunn his props. So let's see. That's all we can
Yeah.
do is wait now. So on to one of the big things that we got talked about. So Zack Snyder's Justice League. So we got
Yeah, the
some,
Snyder Cut.
got the Snyder cut. So more
Snyder.
info. Biggest thing being is we know is this sucker is going to be 4 hours. It's going to be 4 hours long. Now
But not in a 4-hour movie format.
they did. Now there's a caveat. They do. Now they did say it's kind of going to be both ways, but they specifically said it will be broken up into 4 1-hour episodes, whatever you want to call it for it. But at some point, apparently, it is going to get like a full-on normal 4 hour release or whatnot ever. But that's not on the docket for right now.
No,
So
no.
I guess they don't think no one can sit through a 4 hour movie. I mean, Endgame was damn near with 3.5, so that prepped us, but it was good. That's the difference. So we don't know what this is gonna be like. Um,
4 hours of hot garbage. Tyrone said.
so I have faith in Zack
We'll
Snyder.
see.
I have some faith, but um,
Did you watch the trailer for it?
yeah, the trailer
All right.
just
Yeah, I'm about to say, how do you feel about it after I've already seen the Justice League movie and you've seen the trailer of the Snyder Cut with the new footage and all that kind of stuff? How are you feeling about this?
like okay. If this is the line for okay, I'm still somewhat like right under that line.
Mhm.
Because I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Apparently, it's gonna like almost the whole movie is just like new footage. Like, I just can't believe that there was just this much raw footage that was just like I know they did the new editing and all that type of stuff, but to just have this much extra footage that was out there, like, I feel like it when it first came out, it definitely did us all the disservice. The fact that all this crap was cut out of it and didn't make the Whedon cut, whatever. But
Yeah, that's why, honestly, I'm interested in watching it just because just the whole drama behind it with, Zack Snyder having to walk away and then Josh Whedon coming to fix it.
mhm.
It turned out to be bad. It's like, no, it's only bad because y'all didn't see my cut of it. You know what I mean? Like you're seeing all this, like you said, plenty of all this footage that wasn't even used to cut in. So like, okay, I want to see what your vision was for this movie. I want to see your cut of it to make a final decision on it.
Okay.
Since he was the one that was originally supposed to be behind,
To
right?
it.
He was never supposed to step in. So I'm trying to just hold it in. I'm not watching 4 parts.
Oh, I already know you. I already know how you gonna do. You gonna wait until all 4 episodes is out.
Just sit watch it like a movie.
So now here's the thing. Talking about that, how do you think they're gonna release this? Cause is this gonna be like 1 episode a week type thing, or are they gonna try to milk this cow for HBO Max and try to spread this thing like over some dumb stupid time? Like that's one of my biggest things.
Yes, they're milking it for HBO Max. That's why they're breaking up in apart, because they want those subscriptions, and they know that yes, this will get some subscriptions. I don't know if it's gonna get the numbers they want, but there's enough people in this realm that are looking forward to the Snyder Cut. I'm thinking they'll do it weekly, but believe it or not, don't put it past them doing it monthly.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm sitting at. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna be so upset if this is like over like a 4-month period, and like they're gonna expect you to pretty much have HBO Max for 4 months. Like, I don't know if I'm ready to give them that money just for these episodes. Content is still not all there. Like, I need a little bit more. I mean, I'm honestly, I'm about to bang on some free trials, like for this maybe. But I think that's going to be one major point for when this finally releases, is how they're planning to do this. Because like if they end up, let's go both ends of the field. They're going to be released in 1 hour setups, however you want to say it. I doubt they would drop it all in one day, because if they did that, just make it a 4-hour movie. Call it a day. But there's definitely at least think maybe 2 months. If it's 2 episodes a month that we get, I know they want to at least keep a few people in the ecosystem for it. Maybe by the time of then too, they'll add some more content in the HBO Max. I don't know how that's still gonna look, but just like the Snyder Cut is just not gonna be the one for me to pay for HBO Max for 4 solid months if that's what they're going to try to do. And I'm honestly, if that was the case, I'm going to be like you, and I'm going to end up having to wait until all 4 episodes come out, and then I'll subscribe for that 1 month to get in on it, because I can't pay, what is that, 50, 30, so it's the 60, so $120 for the Snyder Cut? No, I'm over it. 60 bucks. I'm doubling math. Jesus Christ. I'm not about that for I'm not about that for the Snyder Cut. Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they'll be doing themselves a disservice of doing it monthly. Like once a week, okay. Y'all always say y'all split it up, so I expect once a week to be the kind of thing. Anything more with that would just be terrible, in my opinion. I don't think. I hope they don't do it that way. I mean, you already broke it up. We're not too much of a fan of that. I get it. You're trying to get subscriptions, trying to make HBO Max a thing, but no, a month, no. Keep it weekly and
call it a day.
That's enough. That's enough.
Dig it. Same page with you. All right. Enough of the Justice League.
I said I think they're going to do a 4-night premiere, then release the 4-hour version afterwards.
I definitely agree. They'll do the 4-hour one and hold at some point. But it won't be until after all 4 individual episodes are milked through HBO Max before they do that.
Yeah, I still think it'll be once a week thing.
Probably when the last episode comes out, that would probably be the day they would put all 4 on at the same time, just to let you go ahead and binge it the whole way through, if anything, but not before that last episode, if anything.
I think they'll probably wait till the week after and throw it up there.
And do.
I don't know why. Something have to do with getting numbers or something like that. Want to see how each one of them tracks or something like that. See if that's something they can go with in the future, just for like analytics purposes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I got you. All right, enough of Justice League. We'll move on to that. The one I want to talk about was probably, and I know I've seen this in the comments a couple times. For me, this was the biggest one that it sits on 1 and 2. I gotta figure out which one, but this is probably the biggest thing that I was looking forward. Black Adam. This was probably the announcement that I was looking forward to the most. Now, we didn't necessarily get, obviously the movie hasn't started filming or anything just yet. So there was no clips, no nothing. It literally was The Rock on screen. He answered some questions, but he gave us a vision. And that vision that he gave us actually sounded pretty solid. And with said vision, he gave us the announcement that in this movie they will be including the OG, the JLA in this movie, which I thought was pretty damn cool. So, couple characters.
Gives more of an idea of maybe the direction that they're kind of going with the movie.
Mm-hmm. So, couple characters. So I'm gonna throw one and then you throw one, Sam, because this is pretty sweet. So, but we got Hawkman.
We got Dr. Fate.
Pretty interesting. Just all the two of them.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that. Just the two of them right off the break.
Yeah. Those are the two that caught my eye the most. Like,
caught my eye and was like, whoa, we're really going there. Atom Smasher, which we actually got to see the actor with The Rock. They kind of communicated back and forth, so pretty interested in that. But definitely, we're gonna take that step back. But Hawkman, like the fact that Hawkman has been introduced into the universe now at this point, we now seeing potentially for another member of the Justice League. Now we know initially part of the JLA. This was before the Justice League, so we know this is going to be something beforehand, leading up to probably the current time or whatnot ever for it.
So you believe this one's going to take place in the past,
right?
Okay.
With the overall vision that The Rock gave us on screen, it really gave me confidence in the way of what they're going to do with Black Adam. One, it seems like they're going to make. Don't get me wrong, Adam in the comics was a main player, I guess would say at certain points in time, but I don't know. I feel like with The Rock in this position, I don't know if you feel the same way as me. I feel like Black Adam is probably going to be the one to stand out the most. Well, until we talk about something else later on the show. But I think Black Adam is going to probably be the one that's going to stand out most. I guess mostly we haven't ever really had a live action Black Adam ever. I mean, we've seen other of the DC universe in different aspects, whether it's been television shows, whether older, newer, more recent type titles, but Adam has been one of those that we've only really been introduced to through the comics and through like the video games, like Injustice. So I'm really amped to see what's going to come about of this. Now, during the event, they didn't give us a release date other than it's coming next year. But today we got an announcement that it's going to be December 2021. So I don't know about you, I'm partially concerned because I mean, don't get me wrong, I know
they haven't started filming yet.
They haven't started filming it yet.
Right.
So that's got me concerned a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. I know Hollywood, you can do some magical things, but I don't want this movie to get rushed. That would be my only thing. Is if they try to rush this to get it out, and then it fails.
I don't mind having a trailer at December. You know what I mean? But with everything the way it is now, it might be hopeful thinking, pushing it forward. I'm pretty sure it'll get pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think is going to happen. I'm looking forward to Shazam. Like, anti-heroes are my favorite kind of heroes. So, seeing Black Adam brought to the live screen, somebody powerful, you know what I'm saying? Somebody like that can bang like Superman, being an anti-hero, and Rock pretty much saying during the DC Fandome, during the segment that's the route that they're going. He's going to be an anti-hero, get out of his way. He'll do whatever he has to do to get his justice or do it, whatever he has to do, he'll take care of it, and that's the angle that they're going with it. So, I mean, Tyrone says The Rock will absolutely ruin this movie.
Bruh,
no. I don't think so.
J. Robert just hit the one. It could look as bad as CGI Rock from Mummy 2. Please don't remind me of that.
That was so bad.
That was so bad.
So bad.
Like,
yes.
When I heard, now, little off sidebar. When I heard The Rock was going to be in the Mummy, I was kind of psyched back then. Like, Rock in his prime in the WWF. And I found out he was going to be in the Mummy too. Went to the theater and saw it, and I was like, this is what we're getting of The Rock.
No.
I was
They're like a middle school production made that Rock.
It clearly that didn't hold up to the test of time. Like some movies with CGI from years past kind of withstood the test of time. That's one that did not withstand the test of time.
No,
but yeah,
no, I'm looking forward to Black Adam. I'm keeping reserved about it because yes, we've not seen nothing. Haven't just information has been leaked. They haven't started shooting yet. I didn't like the trailers that they put out during DC Fandome, those comic book style trailers. Like, so they did it just to have something to give to the people.
I kind of like those. I mean, think about it. From like, think about it. Like from a storyboard presentation, which essentially to me, that's what they gave us was like a storyboard presentation, or like that I forget the name of it. They did like that Wolverine animated type thing that was like that. I don't remember what that was on. So. But that was the vibe that I got. It was like that storyboard. I'm trying to tell this story to you without really giving you the actual video of it. So, and I mean, a lot of that, all that was, if I'm not mistaken, was all Boss Logic. So, if you guys are familiar with...
I don't mind that. It's just them toting it out as like a teaser. Like,
kind of thing.
It's not a teaser for the movie. Like,
I get it.
Call it something else. Call it something else. It's not a teaser.
I get it.
But
I mean, as usual...
That, I did enjoy what The Rock had to say. And I'm hopeful that he will deliver.
Cool.
I believe he'll deliver. And with him doing a more villain kind of role, I'm looking
first time for The Rock. I'm really that's also something I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Cool. So solid on Black Adam. I dig it. So briefly we'll touch on two other points. Two other points that will not really there wasn't much information. So Aquaman, like they did talk Aquaman, but I mean there's Aquaman 2, but we don't really get too much.
I would say they officially announced.
Yeah.
Aquaman 2 is coming. Right.
But nothing real. Nothing real solid.
No title. Just Aquaman 2.
Just Aquaman.
So it's coming. They said, and James Wan said it's going to be more serious.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, and they also announced Shazam: Fury of the Gods, the sequel for that was announced. So yes, Shazam's coming back, which is my favorite DC movie right now. So I'm excited that Shazam is coming back.
Agreed.
Looking at that, yes.
I'm eager to see how that's going to play out because I mean with Black Adam in the horizon, like at some point these two characters they're going to have to fight it out at some point. It's got to happen. So I'm eager.
I would love to see Zachary's interpretation of Shazam along with Rock and Black Adam in a movie. I think that could be potential hilarious and great, just depending on how the Black Adam movie works out.
Agreed. Agreed on that.
Yeah.
All right. So the last topic.
Jay
what we got? Shouldn't the sequel to Aquaman be H2O?
Bro.
Stop it. Oh man, that was funny. That was funny.
Yes.
All right,
let's go to the big one. Come on.
The last one of the night, which they saved for the very, very end. By the way, the trailer leaked before the actual part of the panel actually happened, which was pretty sad. Didn't happen the whole entire time. But the Batman. So let's go out. Let's start before we even got trailer or anything. So I think we were all a little bit iffy about what this iteration of Batman was gonna be. Like for me, Robert Pattinson, the only thing his name resonates with now should be when Gage comes back.
I would not be surprised if he just all right guys, we're fitting and pops back in like, oh, of course you would.
Oh, you would be on this part. Or just my power goes out in here, and then we just have no Batman conversation. But we all were a little concerned, like, because as far as Robert Pattinson, now granted, my man's done a lot of movies. Only thing I know him from is Twilight. So I was like, we're gonna get emo. We're gonna get emo Batman.
He still has that Twilight stank on him, if you will. So a lot of people were hesitant of him when they announced he's gonna be Batman, the new Bruce Wayne, and this movie coming up. A lot of people were not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was one.
I was kind of on the same page too. I'm not gonna lie. I was on that boat too.
As him being Batman, I'm on board with it after this trailer.
I am on board. Now, granted, the trailer. Now, I'm a preface of this because the trailer itself, they've already announced the movie is only 25% done. Obviously, with COVID hitting, it had to shut down production of it. So this trailer pretty much came from the first 25% or however combination that they've done for it. I'm gonna have to say this iteration is going to be very interesting. Now, from the information we know, this is going to be a year 2. So, if you're familiar with year 1, the comic, the animated movie that came out, this is pretty much going to explore like year 1.5, year 2 almost of Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, whatever you want to call it. So, it explains a little bit more. Like on the early days when we were seeing like some of those behind the scene random pictures and all that, we were all a little iffy about what the suit looked like and all that, but it's showing that it's more of him becoming more into Batman, expounding on like the armor and all that, so it makes more sense now. But then after seeing him, actually no, when they showed the suit initially in the trailer, it's him like walking up like Commissioner Gordon in a room. That particular angle of the suit actually looked pretty good. I know everybody's having a little iffy with the cowl or whatnot ever. I mean, I really think that's a minor thing. I mean, it's the beginning of the Batman, whatever. But I thought the suit looked pretty solid. You could tell it was like he had some of the armor, but you could tell there was like portions where it was like maybe these were just like army pants adding on type thing to it. You could tell like he was still figuring it out. But it looked.
I like the rough look.
But it looked to me, it looked cool.
Yeah, I like it. I dug it. I like the tone of it. I like the vibe it was giving me watching the trailer. He whooped the bejesus out of that one dude in the trailer.
That was, I didn't expect that at all. Like granted, we knew Batman will throw down. After my man was down, he just went to town on my man. I don't know. I guess that was my man's face. I don't know. We didn't see that, but my man's face was mincemeat. So, and of course he hit the "I'm vengeance." I would say he's we didn't get too much of the voice of the Batman, but it didn't seem over the top like what Christian Bale was doing. But you could tell, he was doing a little something to kind of change his voice a little bit, but. It sounded more natural, I think would be the way to say, than what Christian Bale was like having to like drink water and tea and something probably after every shot that he had to do. Like, so I'm okay. Yeah. I'm okay right now with the Batman. Now,
I still want to see him be Bruce Wayne because he never said anything as Bruce Wayne. We never got to see him try to portray Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So from this, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Now we'll talk. Now we'll talk. Oh yeah, we're talking about the Batman trailer right now. That's literally what we're talking about here. Us, the Batman looks good. Shells, he's overpowered. I mean, if that indication of my man's face getting beat in, he's overpowered. Like I think I can agree at that point.
For that just to be what they shot with just 25%, I'm looking forward to a real. Full trailer to get more of an idea of where the story's going. Mm-hmm. What's his name? Colin Farrell looks, I think, amazing.
Bro, you don't recognize him. I was going to say.
Anyway, you barely recognize him.
I was going to get into the villain side. So, as villains, we know of the 2 right now. So, obviously, Colin Farrell, Penguin, and we know the Riddler are going to be in this movie. Mm-hmm. So, definitely 2 interesting classic Batman villains. I'm really eager to see how this Riddler would be portrayed. Because, I mean, other than Jim Carrey live action and then, like, say, the original, like, Adam West Batman, we really haven't had, like, a live action Riddler on screen since. So, Jim Carrey's Riddler was one to itself. Like, I'm cool with that. That stays to itself. So, I think in this, clearly, it's not going to try to imitate that, which is going to be a very good thing. And I like this is going to be more of not trying to imitate and being like something that's already happened. So that's the good part that I'm looking for on here. They also, they showed Catwoman. They showed Selena Kyle. And you could clearly tell, same thing like Batman's going through, she's kind of working on what you're seeing. Because she only had like the beanie hat pulled over.
All of them aren't who they are just yet. It's more of a Gotham kind of vibe where you see them in their early stages before he fully becomes Penguin, before she fully become Catwoman. You know what I mean? It's just getting into those early years of building up that persona.
And
You know what I
then
mean? So
speaking of that, so it's like I was saying, it is year 2, but they've also acknowledged the fact that this Batman is going to take place in a different universe. So main reason why this Batman is also existing alongside of Batfleck, because if you guys didn't know, yes, Batfleck is still a thing. Probably should have talked about it a little bit earlier. Ben Affleck is still going to play the Batman, of course, in the Flash movie.
yeah, we brought up.
Uh huh. And supposedly he's supposed to get like an HBO Max. This was a rumor that randomly came out. I don't quote on that one, but supposedly he's going to get his own type of thing on HBO Max. We'll wait and see how that possibly will pan out. But unlike a lot of people, like right quick, I'm about to get that gauge heat right now. I'm one of those that actually likes Batfleck. I just don't think Justice League did him a whole disservice to him. But
I ain't with that.
Yeah, I'm
with that.
I'm with Batfleck. So I'm hoping that they do something with him, especially within the Flash movie, gets a little bit more shine.
One of the things that made me mad about Batman in the Justice League movie that I wonder if it's fixed in the Snyder Cut was the fact that he used his grapple for everything. That's the only gadget I swore he used throughout the most of the movie. And it was driving me crazy. You have a belt with a billion gadgets on it for any situation. Why are you only using your back grapple? Like, it was making me mad the whole time.
I guess because it's not the comic. They didn't design them to be for the moment. Like, I don't know. But all I know is, like, look, I'm cool with Batman randomly cracking a joke. Like, Batman randomly cracking, like, one joke will be perfect. But when they made him, like, comic relief in Justice League with the whole, oh, that hurt, like, I lost it on that. But
yeah, that's not what he does. He doesn't joke.
So I definitely think, though, it's going to be solid. I do like now that the whole multiple universe thing is coming to play. We already know, thanks to, well, spoiler alert if you haven't watched The Flash or if you've been under a rock for a long time, but of course Ezra Miller's Flash showed up on the CW version of The Flash, if you didn't know that. And that was a read to kind of see how people were going to react when universes collided. And they fully acknowledge that this is a thing now, and I love that. Especially going forward with, like, comics that are coming out now, like the 3 Joker aspect. Like, I would love to see how something like that is going to play out on a real screen. I know that's something that's way down the road, but just knowing that, the multiverse really truly exists now. Like, we already have, at this point, we have 3 Batmans. Currently, you could say currently that would be in existence, because Batfleck, Pattinson, and Keaton's back. So we technically have 3 Batmans, which gives us technically 3 Jokers that we could pull. I mean, Jared Leto Joker, I think we can toss him aside. He was another one that he didn't need to be in Suicide Squad. They could have done something with him. Gave us that.
Well, they took out all of his stuff.
Everything. They did him just as bad.
They
pretty much did to him what they did to Rogue, but I mean, at least Rogue got a Rogue cut, I guess, that kind of put her back in. But I don't know. But it could play out like that. Definitely having the multiverse and having all these berries in the universe, something's going to get screwed up. I don't know how many times.
If they're using this multiverse angle to try to explain to people, they need to tie it up in a movie. In one of their movies, they need to explain it to people in a way that it makes sense for the casual viewer. Why there are different people playing Batman and why this movie seems different than this one and doesn't tie into this one. They need to explain that to the audience. That's not us, because we know that the multiverse exists and we understand it.
Right.
But they're going to have to explain to people so going forward there's no more confusion, and to hopefully clean up some of the messes that the DC universe has right now. That's what they're going to have to do.
Yeah, let's see what we got. DCU was in trouble the moment they handed it to Nolan and Goyer. 2 men with no idea what it means to be a hero, and Snyder is worse. See, now I know we've had Gage has done the unpopular opinion. Like, I love the Nolan. Well, with the exception of probably Rises could have been a little bit different. I like the Nolan Batmans. I don't know if Christian Bale would necessarily have fit into this whole grand scheme of the way that things were going to work for it. So I think it was a good thing that kind of was just a one-off. Sadly, with
I don't like Christian Bale as Batman. I hated him as Batman. How can you not tell that's Bruce? How can you not tell that's Christian Bale under that mask? How can you possibly not tell that is him? Like it's the voice. Like I wasn't a fan of him as Batman. Now I like Zack Snyder's.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way they look and feel. I like his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Issues, of course, with Justice League.
I get
just
it.
the DC and just the DC universe in general. I'm having an issue with.
I get it. Especially when that came out. It was a funky time because at that point, they flat out said they were keeping like the CW universe and the movie universe separate. Which we've been saying this for years. We was like, that was the wrong thing to do. That was the absolute wrong thing to do. Like,
all they had to do is at the end of Justice League, maybe just, and it could have been an Easter egg with Bruce Wayne sitting down talking with somebody at a coffee shop, and when the camera pans over, it's Oliver Queen. He's just trying to bring him in just for a nod or something like that. He ain't got to be in the whole movie, but just a nod.
Just a nod. He exists. Like, they exist. So, I mean, well, at least we know this before we wrap up. With the multiverse.
I actually have a question for you.
Oh, I got you. Well, definitely with the multiverse in there, maybe there's a chance we could always see Stephen Amell show back up, even if it's just a cameo walk on. Like, look, I just want a cameo walk on of him from some universe. Maybe I know you said you hate Arrow with the whole goatee and everything. Just let my man show up in something like in one of the movies.
If he comes back, it'll be for the Flash finale. That'll be it if he comes back.
I can see it, but I just want my man like get some type of like he deserves to have like. If it wasn't for him, the whole thing wouldn't kicked off. But I dig it. What's your question?
All right. DC Fandome Part 2 happening September 12th.
Mm-hmm.
After this one we just saw, what are we expecting September 12th when this comes back for Part 2?
I don't know. Like, I think maybe that one's going to be a little more... I think we'll still get some of the same type of information that we're getting now, but maybe a little more comic oriented, maybe comic and animated stuff, because we didn't see a lot of that necessarily during this one. Definitely the animated movies I think deserve a big spotlight, like at least for the couple that we know we're getting. The new Superman one actually dropped digitally today. That's out there. We have Fandom 2, the Flash reboots Fandom 1. Oh my god. Don't do that because we got some good stuff out of this first Fandom. Do not let Barry mess this up. If Barry messes this up, we're in trouble.
Now, do you think we get an announcement at the second one that like Wonder Woman, for instance, is coming to HBO Max? For instance. Just like how Marvel, they're Mulan, they made the decision to put on Disney Plus. Do you think they're going to do the same thing? Stop trying to force them to go to theaters and like, look, let's get these deals in place and let's have it come to HBO Max. Do you think we get stuff like that coming out of the Part 2?
Maybe. I'm gonna be real with you. With the theaters opening back up now, I think I'm gonna put in quotations big movie Tenet. I think depending on how we see how like some of these movies roll in money, if people, which I still don't think there's gonna be a lot of people going to the theaters. We already know with cutting capacity and all that type of stuff, it's not gonna necessarily roll in the money like it should. All we can do is just hope by the time they come out we're in a better place. But realistically, it's probably going to be the same as it is right now. I think they would do their disservice if they didn't do it. Like, just put it behind a paywall. I'm sorry. Mulan, $30 if you got a Disney Plus subscription. To me, not a bad deal at all. I'm sorry. Like, if you go to a movie theater, you're spending, if it's you, like me, normally it would be me and my girlfriend. Like, we got Movie Pass, so we don't pay anything or whatever. But average ticket, $15 or $16. That already pays for the movie right there. Concessions, you already shelled out. I'll be able to get all my food and stuff right in the refrigerator. But I really think they should try to go straight to HBO Max with it. Especially if you're trying to drive people to get in. If the key to get in is having the subscription, and then you have to pay on top of it, you're gonna bring in people into the ecosystem. They can start looking around. Granted, it's still not a lot that's there, but for someone maybe that hasn't watched some of the DC movies, hasn't watched some of the DC animated series, like I'm pretty sure Justice League is on there, and if you haven't watched animated Justice League by then, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, you are doing a huge disservice in the DC side of things. Probably honestly the best animated thing DC has probably done. Outside of the movies, let me cartoon TV show wise, I will say it that way. But that would be a good way to get people into the ecosystem. Make them sign up to get to Wonder Woman and pay that behind the paywall or whatever. I do think some people would go to it, but don't get me wrong. I think there's still going to be that bunch that's going to be like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Who we got? All this DC talk tonight got me hyped. I'm not going to be I'm not going to bed. It's like 4 a.m. Adrenaline on a million.
I think I agree with you as far as DC Fandom Part 2. I think they will lean into some DC animated films coming up. We know they announced was Batman: The Long Halloween or something like that.
Yep.
They announced that, so we'll probably get a trailer or something for that. I think whatever shows they might have had on the DC universe, like maybe a Titan season 3 or what's the other one with Cyborg in it? Doom Patrol. Like probably get some updates there of seasons coming. Maybe a new show we haven't heard of that's in the works. I do think we'll get updates on all our Arrowverse shows, and probably a couple other sneak surprises in there, like maybe a movie announcement or something like that. Something got coming down the pipeline. I think that's what we're going to lean into in part 2.
I can do that.
And probably dive more into some of the games they have coming as well.
I can dig that.
Probably further look more to some of the other characters, stuff like that. J. Robert Dean said, I paid $20 or so for Wonder Woman, but not sure about HBO Max. Depending on sign up, remember, a lot of folks get Disney for 6 months or less. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's valid.
It's all about the deals they put together. Yeah.
Valid.
I think like one thing we say, like they need content on HBO Max. I think putting Wonder Woman on there will definitely help get people into their ecosystem. There's a lot. There's way more people clamoring to see Wonder Woman than there are the Snyder cut of Justice League.
True, and you have some people that are the other way around, but definitely.
Yeah. I think that's what's happening in part 2 when part 2 comes around in September. I'm looking forward to it.
Same here. Like a lot of I get. Hopefully we can stream it. I hope I'm off that day. I'm gonna be off that day, but I gotta give solid props to DC. Overall, Fandome Part 1 I thought went off without a hitch. I thought it was solid. I think it was solid. I think this is what they needed to do to put some things out there, and they did a pretty good job on the presentation. All they can do now is just expand on it, run with it, maybe throw a couple other hidden gems out there that we don't know about yet.
Execute, clean up the messes that you have made,
and just run.
And start putting out consistent fire products for these characters that we know and we love, that deserve it. Like, don't half-ass on it. Like, give them the treatment they deserve. So,
don't force it. Justice League. Honestly, that movie shouldn't have been made until way down the road. Like, they should have given each character. Like, granted, I'm sorry, I hate to use this as catalyst, but look, Marvel did a great job at the catalyst with the MCU. You guys had the map. Like, you literally just needed to copy and paste it. I'm sorry. I get you wanted to get Justice League out there.
They didn't want to copy what their competition
I get it. But you know what? The catalyst works. Like, it works.
Yeah, but you need people to know about these characters. Like, everybody knows Batman, Superman. You know what I mean? Like, we know they've had movies for years and years and years. They don't need a movie introduction. You know what I'm saying? But yes, give Wonder Woman a movie.
Oh, yes.
Give Aquaman a movie. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I gotta talk about Ty right now. Ty did also brought up something that's pretty good. Ain't DC, but Lovecraft Country is worth HBO Max money. I ain't gonna lie. First 2 episodes of Lovecraft, fire.
I haven't watched the second one yet, but so far, the first episode has me all in.
Fire.
I'm all in off the first.
Definitely something to watch if you do end up getting HBO Max outside of DC. Definitely Lovecraft.
Right. Some new original programming that they have. Right.
It's still on regular HBO, but it's on Max too. All right. Overall, solid impressions on DC Fandome.
Yes.
Hoping for some good things coming from the part 2. Last thing, I guess, before we wrap up, you guys know we were actually doing a little fundraiser for ourselves. We had some t-shirts that went on sale. That ended. It's over. If you didn't grab a t-shirt, it's too late. They're gone. Like they're gone.
But a real big thank you and shout out to everybody who did cop a t-shirt. We really appreciate it. They are currently being worked on, and as soon as we start rolling them out to people, we definitely will let everybody know. On the back of that, let me give a shout out to all our Patreons at our top tier. Let's start out with Anthony Cunningham. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to Ellis. Shout out to Miss Susan Dortch. Tyrone Carson in the building. Shout out to him. And a special shout out to Victoria Ford. Thank you all very much. We truly, truly appreciate it. And those donations y'all give us help us do this each and every week and keep pushing forward. So thank y'all very much. We really need it.
Keep going. Much appreciated, guys. Ellis Weekly Live, that's a wrap. Make sure.
Please ask me the next fundraiser is coming. We're working on stuff for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're currently working with someone to get those shirts together, get the designs, all that kind of stuff. So once those are ready and we go live, we'll let y'all know first and foremost. We definitely will.
Naturally, we will let you know. Anything else we got down the pipeline, naturally, you guys always will be first to know. Patrons, you'll probably may get that little sneak peek access of anything that we work on a little bit earlier than other people. So, guys, if you're not a part of Patreon, you guys can hop on patreon.com/loading snacks real easy. Subscribe to any tier. Naturally, you get some better perks as you go up in the tiers for it. But naturally, anything new that we have coming, we always try to drop some things there early first.
And we do have good things coming. We got a wrestling segment, The Finisher, that's currently in production with Jokes. I think that's going to be dope for y'all. Anime Vote Season 2 is currently being worked on, so look out for that coming as well. Yeah, we got things coming that are currently in production that we are shooting, and we can't wait to get done and get out there to you all to enjoy and have these conversations like we're having right now. We really look forward.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you guys. We've been doing this with the whole changes and everything. We had to go digital. I would say it was mighty weird being in front of a green screen for the first time, and I don't know how long. It didn't feel the same. I don't know. We haven't been to cons. We haven't done nothing. It was almost like starting from scratch. Starting a new segment in front of the green screen we haven't done. I hadn't powered up my camera in months. Powered up my camera for the first time in months. Like, oh man, it was a good feeling, but it's like riding a bike. You got to get on. You got to try to figure it out a little bit. But
don't worry, you'll get it.
I can't wait until we can get this new content up and going. I can't wait till we eventually can get back to some normal type things that we do it. But until then, we're gonna make some fire content for you guys, one way or the other. All right, this has been Ellis Weekly. Make sure you guys tune in. Cutscenes, we'll let you know. Time play, everything should be on point the same way for cutscenes tomorrow. Just in case. Because normally, like what Gage would say, we may hold off because Gamescom's getting ready to kick off. So there's going to be some fire game announcements probably showing up this week. So don't be surprised if we say we may push it a day so we can get said game info.
You know that Stephen Amell has a new show coming out where he plays a wrestler.
Oh, yes. Oh, no. I know this very well because Cody Rhodes is actually about to be off of AEW for a while to be on this show as well. So trust me when I tell you I will be watching this show from start to finish on there. It's wrestling and it's Stephen Amell. I'm sold. I'm in.
Relax. Calm down.
No. I'm in.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, y'all. We could go on for a long time.
Again, that is Lotus Snacks Weekly. We are out of here.
What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.